Hi everyone, today was the second day of Clutch Chess Champions Showdown in St. Louis. This is the place where the champions played. Gukesh, Fabiano, Magnus, Hikaru. We are going to look at some of the games from today, some of the critical moments, but we are going to see it in another room, which also shows how beautiful and big the St. Louis Chess Club is. So this is the room where I have set up some positions. Let's start from this one here. This is the game between Gukesh and Magnus. In this position, Magnus with the white pieces played the move Rook C1. And it seems like the position is equal, maybe slightly better for white. But Gukesh lost his cool here. He played the move E5. And this is something you can never do against Magnus. Magnus took, pawn takes, queen takes, pawn, knight takes, bishop takes, and here is the point which he showed, which was bishop to d3, a fantastic move showing that the f5 pawn is weak, and then this endgame is something for all of you to learn from, where Magnus beat Gukesh. Let's go to this one. This is, I think, my favorite game of the day. I've still not understood it completely, but I just want to show you the key moment here. It was the last move played by Magnus was Rook d5. He's offering a trade of rooks because if you look, he's a pawn up. Gukesh realizes if he takes on e4, he'll lose a pawn on b2 with check, and so he goes c4, and he tells Magnus that I'm ready to go for the king and pawn endgame. Now this could be something for all of you to analyze, because is this winning or not? ed4, king f7, king f2, king f6, king e3, king f5, b4, and this is the moment where actually c6 is winning for Magnus. He plays the move a6, and this is actually a mistake because Gukesh must play a4 to stop b5 from happening. Gukesh went h4, but this is already a mistake after b5, c5, c6, let's say g3, now you get e5, and you are just a simple pawn up and you win the endgame. So very instructive game, worth analyzing. Gukesh lost to Magnus 2-0. Now coming to this one. This is actually an incredible game by Fabiano Caruana. He's playing with the white pieces here against Magnus Carlsen, and he plays the move knight e4 here. And this is the Berlin endgame. It's generally considered very solid. Magnus played c5. He went c3, c4, and then came the move g4. I think what was really nice to see is that after takes, Fabiano just understood the position so well. He basically went king f2. He managed to play then h4, h5, g4, pushed the pieces away, and just completely crushed Magnus in the Berlin. This doesn't happen very often, and that just goes to show how strong Fabiano is as a player. As if it was not enough to beat Magnus once, here's another game. They play 2 times, right? So Fabiano beats Magnus one more time, and in this moment, this is just right out of the opening, Fabi thinks for more than 5 minutes, it seems. He comes down from 8 to 3 minutes. And the reason is, he plays the move b5 here. Takes, gives up the rook, bishop check, and now you must play bishop d2 as Magnus. But I think Magnus was very ambitious. He goes king e2, and here comes a very nice move by Caruana, e5. Love it. Takes, knight e5. Notice how queen d3 is a mate. That's a very big threat here. And of course, if you take here, there is a check and you lose the queen. So beautiful bit of calculation by Fabi. Rook d1 was played. He went knight d3. And this was already huge position. Queen takes c7, queen a8, think check here, king e7, took, check, and black was completely better, and Fabi managed to beat Magnus 2-0, which was, I think, the biggest result of today. Going to the next room, just to show you how big the club is. We go to this position here. This one is very interesting for me because of the way in which Magnus managed to beat Hikaru. Hikaru is white here. He has a very decent position in this one. He went rook b1. Here in this position, sorry, rook b1, rook c8, and Hikaru played knight f3, and Magnus went c5. And Hikaru should have played b5 here, but instead he took, and knight takes c5 came in, e5, bishop takes a4, queen a2, he took, knight takes e5, and somehow in this position Magnus is a pawn up and managed to convert it. I felt like Magnus was playing like an old man in this game, you know, like no calculation, just keep saving the pieces, and he managed to beat Hikaru. And in the second game against Hikaru, he once again managed to beat him here, which is incredible. But first we will look at the game between Gukesh and Fabiano Caruana. This game just goes to show how good these players are. At this point, you can see that the position is very complicated. Black king is weak. White has these doubled pawns. And Gukesh played the move f3. And it's little moves like these that create the big problems. He should have been more careful here. And I think his position is slightly better here. I'm not really sure what move should be played actually. It's quite difficult and tricky to understand that. But f3 wasn't right because Fabi was in hot form. He found the move knight to g6. An amazing move attacking the bishop. Didn't save his knight. After knight takes, took here on e2. F takes g4. Queen takes queen. Bishop takes. F takes g6, takes, and rook e2, and Fabi was better. He later went on to play b6, bishop b7, attacked here in this opposite colored bishop and managed to beat Gukesh, which is a huge result. And now for the final game, maybe one of my favorite games, well, a very nice one between Hikaru and Magnus. In this position, the bishop is hanging. It came from the accelerated dragon. So Hikaru played bishop f7. Magnus took the pawn, knight g4. And now Magnus had to play queen b6, trade the queens. Maybe the position is slightly better for him. But he goes queen c5. And immediately Hikaru finds an amazing move, f5, threatening a check to win the queen. In comes bishop b6. He gives up the rook here, again threatening this check. It's amazing, this game. Bishop knight e2, defending the square. Rook d5. Suddenly the queen has no squares, has to go back. Bishop takes b2. Rook b1. And here Hikaru could have taken the queen. Rook takes, bishop c5 check, king h1, knight f2 check, and this can be around equal, and the game could have ended in a draw, maybe slightly better for black. But instead Hikaru was very ambitious here and Magnus was shaking his head, so he went in this position, rook b5, because if bishop b5 he wants to take the queen, and then Magnus played queen a4 and eventually went on to win this game, which is quite, I mean, this is still equal, but Magnus won it. So a very interesting game, interesting day, with Magnus still in the lead with 11.5 points. Fabiano Caruana is 1 point below with 10.5, and Gukesh and Hikaru on 7 points. But all of this can change totally because tomorrow each win is 3 points and you're going to play 6 games, which means that 18 points are at stake. So all that was happening until today was just a very small trailer. The real movie starts tomorrow. Anyone can win from here. Do let us know, who do you think will triumph? This is Sagar Shah signing off from the St. Louis Chess Club. Bye bye.